This is an armchair.
I thought of the idea you had.
This is a poem.
I thought of the idea that you had.
This is an armchair poem, which is not to say it's afraid or comfortable or amateurish or indoors, just because it is seamed with the crumbs and the strange hair of my life, because it is, of course, and at the same time unseaming at the backs of my knees, dancing against the napped green velveteen, and while I try to pull the fog of the poem clean out from the stuffing, I've googled the Swedish for seam, because I don't understand anything but English in the afraid, comfortable, amateurish indoors of England.
I thought of the idea that you had, that we should write poems from a couch, poems that would, I don't know, refer to and reflect around, consider the position famously called the couch position.
I think what I actually said was write a poem from the place where you write the poem.
Yeah, you wrote that in an email as a suggestion, and it's a funny thought. It feels pretty brutal and fairly intuitive. Make the brutal tender. I wrote that once. I wrote it because tender sounds like the Swedish word for teeth.
Sometimes I worry. I write poems the same way I was taught to sit very still for my school photograph, closing my smiling mouth over the Swedish word for teeth. Because, well, no one wants a picture showing your skull, love.
I wrote another time about enemies, to have one's enemies close to one's body, literally, really very close, I mean absurd close, I mean a new kind of close, and not just on that conceptual level revealed by the saying. Do you have that saying in English, by the way?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Who says that one should have one's enemies close up? It's completely idiotic. It's not logical anywhere. It's dangerous. One should keep one's enemies at arm's length. I mean, symbolically.
I mean, I don't even have a couch to write this poem from, because a couch presumes at least one friend or two enemies come in still stiff in their coats, or at least some kind of broadening horizontality.
My arm is too short. Really, very short. Remove my arm and attach another arm so I can type faster.
I mean, I don't even have a couch, even if I knew how to lie down, because I still use the word settee, which is to say settle, which is to say I watch you articulating with your two short arms, and I press the ends of mine into the rough cloth of my narrow privacy, and I think, thank fuck, I am writing this poem from a cleft of imitation velvet, like I am grown over with moss and fog and grass, like I somehow belong here, like no one could find argument with this pretty picture of the poet.
I'm sitting on a black leather couch right now, and you might be sitting on a sofa made out of meat and tears.
Yeah, well, you might be sitting on a passport-sized photograph of teeth.
Well, you might be sitting on your family name.
You might be squatting over your enemy's outstretched hand.
I once wrote that I don't believe in material as a concept. I dismissed material as a silly conspiracy. I couldn't care less. Everything is just variations of meat in my world. Meat and tears. Paul Feck's meat art was really just an extension of everything else. All meat is art, and I write this from a couch of leather.
with this pretty picture of the poet as toothless grub among the cute compost of her home.
I'm actually sitting on a hard wooden chair.
Yeah, well, I'm writing this poem from the window seat of the night coach, because here I only have two responsibilities. One is my seatbelt must be buckled at all times, and two, my sleep must be buckled 3 times all over, and trying to find...
I'm sitting on a hard wooden chair and my legs are sleeping.
How to bend sleep.
But I fell asleep first. I'm sleeping right now, so as we speak I'm sleeping and I won over my legs.
Towards the beam of my cancelled body, so that my dreams are more convincingly about sleep.
The aesthetic of lying is so incredibly obvious. You know, we have this thing in Sweden, yeah, it's true. We have this thing in Sweden called morning sofas, yeah, you heard about that? Morning sofas, morning couches, morning daybeds, morning futons. People are named after a televised object and a specific tense time of the day. The people are always experts on daytime TV.
I've always worried about daybeds. They seem like an old-fashioned provision for sex and sick rest in the front room. I sometimes wonder how many of us are conceived on an IKEA daybed, and I can never remember to look it up before I worry I'm going to die on my IKEA daybed and it's too late to hide the daybed in the folds of the poem. So you can all now see my unsettled, unsexed, undead daybed of my family name laid broad and televised under the window. Please let's just carry on as if I said nothing.
You know that nobody in my family can pronounce my family name.
I just wish I had said tender like you did, but maybe as if I said... Yeah, like you might, like I might have forgotten the... Exactly. So close to nothing, like I might have forgotten to say that in English, tender is a kind of payment. On the tip of the bruisey tongue touching the back of my teeth. It's very close, it's even closer.
I'm thinking of a film by Chantal Ackerman that I never understood. It's also very site-specific, fixated in a way. She sits by a window, you know, and she eats sugar out of a paper bag. I once pulled a plastic bag over my head. I didn't know what to do with my plastic bag. I was caught off guard, so I licked the inside clean and I pushed it down all the way over the face, my face, so much sticky sweetness in one mouth, my mouth. It was a nervous act of focused reverence. Actually, I have that plastic bag over my head right now.
Sitting across from you, it seems like I am actually reading the closed captioning of that bag's sticky skin film across your face. The text sort of running over the cut. But I guess I'm just getting confused. Confused perhaps between the film and the film. Or maybe between the seam and the seam. Oh, seam in English seems to be fog in Swedish. Have I got that right?
Nej.
Ja.
Eller du menar fog. Ingen säger fog längre. Det är ett skitgammalt ord. Och nu skulle jag kunna göra någon sorts poäng av att Holly inte förstår vad jag säger, men det kommer jag inte göra. Fog can also mean reason, motive.
Oh, so fug.
Fog.
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 Anyway, she sits by a window, she eats sugar out of a paper bag. I have stolen that picture like 1,000 times, literally, but I've replaced the bag material to claim an illusion of uniqueness, you know, plastic, fantastic. Oh, sweet, tiny miracles made by lazy breakage of materiality. Oh Lord, please forgive me. I don't write through a sticky, transparent filter. It's true.
I keep rethinking the reason that we've been writing towards the same poem in the same place. Keep writing until the fog is a pressed sheet of water.
My gums never bleed, my eyes don't shimmer of tears.
Until the fog is a suture. The fog is tender.
I don't sit on a black leather couch, I don't sit on a chair. I sit inside the chair. I sit inside the chair.
Is a pretty picture. Is assembling the daybed.
I'm writing this from inside the chair. Pretty brutal, pretty tender.
Is assembling the day. Is sitting down only to avoid falling.
It's the last thing that I'll do.